The Banishers of Balashikha. In the chaotic early 1990s, Russia's roads turned deadly as a ruthless gang preyed on truck drivers, leaving a trail of bodies in the forests near Balashikha. 5 gripping chapters unravel this chilling mystery from the collapse of the Soviet-planned economy, sparking a boom in road transport and crime, to the spring of 1993's, when 2 mutilated bodies were found near Lake Biserovo, their deaths marked by brutal beatings with a champagne bottle and a tire iron. As more bodies surfaced, drivers from Ukraine and Moscow, their trucks and cargo stolen, investigator Sergey Zamuruev led a desperate operation, facing a gang led by ex-convict Andrey Sokhin, using a decoy truck. Zamuruev's team hunted the killers, uncovering a sinister network tied to a local businessman's hideout, where stolen goods were stored and victims were forced to labor before death. The gang's reign of terror claimed 13 lives, but even after their arrest, the killings continued, haunting Balashikha's forests. Were all the culprits caught, or does a darker force still lurk on Russia's highways? Chapter 1. The roads turned deadly. In the crumbling Soviet Union, roads became lifelines, but what deadly price did drivers pay? The frigid air of late 1980s Russia carries the scent of diesel, despair, and the faint hum of snow as the Soviet Union teeters on collapse, its planned economy unraveling, the murmur of long queues outside empty stores echoing through cities like Moscow. The air hums with the scent of change as the one dominant railway system, the backbone of Soviet transport, gives way to a surge in road traffic. The murmur of economic crisis fueling a shift to market dynamics. Cobblestone highways, long underused, now rumble with the growl of trailers, vans, and small trucks, their rusted frames a stark contrast to the faded red banners flapping in the wind. The scent of opportunity heavy as goods flow to fill barren shelves. But the air grows tense with the murmur of danger. Russia's roads, poorly maintained and barely policed, become a battleground, the scent of lawlessness lingering as unemployment spikes. The murmur of desperate youth turning to crime. What deadly price did drivers pay on these lawless highways? And who would prey on them? The scent of paper and peril fills the air. Russia, a crumbling stage for a tale of chaos and violence. The decline of Soviet transport. For decades, the Soviet Union relied on its railways, the air thick with the scent of coal and steel as trains crisscrossed the vast nation. The murmur of centralized planning dictating every move, the scent of efficiency masking underlying inefficiencies. The air hums with the murmur of a system unprepared for change as the 1980s crisis deepens. The scent of empty shelves heavy, the planned economy failing to meet demand. The murmur of discontent echoing through cities, automobile roads, neglected and crumbling, were secondary, their quality low, safety an afterthought, the air tense with the murmur of accidents waiting to happen. The scent of neglect lingering as the state prioritized rail over asphalt. The murmur of a new era dawning unnoticed, the rise of road transport. By the early 1990s, a seismic shift takes hold. The air thick with the scent of diesel and opportunity as the market economy emerges. The murmur of capitalism filling the void left by Soviet collapse. The scent of goods, sere for years, now flowing to Moscow's markets. The air hums with the roar of engines as trailers and trucks flood the highways, their drivers navigating treacherous roads, the scent of profit heavy as they haul everything from kitchen appliances to imported electronics. The murmur of commerce, a lifeline for a struggling nation, but the air grows tense with the murmur of danger as these roads, unprepared for the surge, become hunting grounds, the scent of vulnerability lingering as drivers, often alone, face the unknown, the murmur of a new threat rising on the horizon. Setting the stage for a wave of violence, the emergence of roadside banditry. Unemployment surges in the post-Soviet chaos, the air thick with the scent of despair and desperation as young men, left jobless, turn to crime, the murmur of survival driving them to the highway's edges. The scent of opportunity now tainted with danger, the air hums with the murmur of violence as roadside banditry explodes. The scent of fear heavy as gangs target truck drivers, the murmur of stolen cargo and hijacked vehicles echoing through the countryside. The air tense with the realization that law enforcement, stretched thin, is unprepared, the scent of lawlessness lingering as drivers become prey. The murmur of death haunting Russia's roads, who would bring justice to these highways? And at what cost? Chapter 2: Bodies in the forest. In the forests near Balashikha, bodies pile up, but who is hunting Russia's truck drivers? The damp air of spring 1993 clings to the forests near Balashikha, a Moscow suburb, where the scent of pine, wet earth, and the faint tone of decay hangs heavy. The murmur of birds drowned by the hum of nearby Gorkovskoe highway. The forest floor, littered with fallen leaves, hides a grim secret. The air thick with the scent of death as two mutilated male bodies are discovered near Lake Biserovo. Their forms barely recognizable, the murmur of horror echoing among the trees. Local police in faded uniforms trudge through the underbrush, the air humming with the scent of paper as they draft reports. The murmur of their findings chilling, both men died from blunt force trauma. A cleaner champagne bottle nearby, possibly the murder weapon, a rusted tire iron also found. The scent of violence lingering without showing blood, who is hunting Russia's truck drivers? And why here? The scent of paper and dread fills the air. Balashikha, haunted stage for a tale of murder and mystery. The first discoveries. The discovery shocks Balashikha. The air thick with the scent of pine and fear as investigators examine the scene. The murmur of their voices low, the scent of motor oil on the victims' clothes suggesting they were drivers. The air tense with the murmur of a pattern emerging, similar bodies found in these woods before. The scent of a serial killer heavy as locals whisper of a criminal graveyard. The air hums with the murmur of urgency as forensic experts confirm the cause of death. The scent of paper lingering in their reports, the air growing tense with the realization that these killings are no isolated incident. The murmur of more victims likely hidden in the forest, the scent of danger connecting each case to the highways. A pattern of violence, the pattern of violence grows clearer. The air thick with the scent of dread and pine as more bodies surface near Balashikha. The murmur of reports flooding the Moscow region prosecutor's office, the scent of paper heavy as they document a rising tall, drivers. Their trucks stolen, their bodies dumped in the woods, the air tense with the murmur of brutality. The scent of motor oil and bloodless wounds marking each victim. The air humming with the realization that the killers strike with savage precision. Using tools like tire irons and balloon wrenches, the murmur of a gang at work chilling the region. The scent of lawlessness lingering as locals fear the roads, the air heavy with the weight of an escalating crisis that demands action. The case of Alexander Tlensky, a breakthrough emerges with a third victim. The air thick with the scent of pine and tragedy as a 16-18-year-old male is found near Lake Biserovo. The murmur of horror echoing as experts count over 30 blows to his skull. A cleaner balloon wrench nearby, the air tense with the scent of paper as his photo airs on television. The murmur of recognition leading to his identity, Alexander Plensky, a driver from Dnepropetrovsk, hauling kitchen appliances to Moscow, never returning home, the scent of loss heavy as his co-driver, Tikhanovsky, and their truck Banish, the air humming with the murmur of a larger crime. The forest a silent witness to their fate, the case intensifies the investigation, linking the murders to a broader scheme targeting truck drivers across the region. Will the forest yield more victims, or the killers themselves? Chapter 3: The investigation intensifies. In Balashikha's haunted forests, a desperate hunt begins, but can investigators catch the killers? The chilly air of spring 1993 hangs over the Moscow Region Prosecutor's office, where the scent of paper, stale coffee, and the faint tone of urgency fills the cramped office of Sergey Zamuruev, the lead investigator for high-priority cases. Rusted filing cabinets line the walls. A faded red banner outside the window, a reminder of Soviet days. The murmur of typewriters echoing as reports pile up, the air humming with the scent of dread. 4 bodies now found in Balashikha's forests. All truck drivers, their deaths brutal, their trucks stolen, the scent of motor oil on their clothes a grim clue. The air tense without showing blood. Zamuruev, a seasoned investigator, forms a task force. The air heavy with the murmur of urgency as they face a 5th body near Lake Biserovo. The scent of paper lingering in new reports, the murmur of a serial gang haunting the highways. Their pattern of violence now undeniable. Can investigators catch the killers? Or will the forest claim more lives? The scent of paper and peril fills the air. Balashikha, a shadowy stage for a tale of pursuit and terror. The task force forms. Zamuruev's task force forms swiftly. The air thick with the scent of paper and resolve as investigators gather in the office. The murmur of their voices low, the scent of cigarette smoke heavy as they review the cases. 4 drivers dead, all beaten with tools like tire irons and champagne bottles, their bodies dumped near Gorkovskoe Highway. The air tense with the murmur of a pattern, the scent of motor oil linking the victims. The air humming with the realization that Balashikha's forests are a dumping ground. The murmur of locals calling it a criminal graveyard chilling the team. The scent of urgency lingering as they vow to stop the killings. The air heavy with the weight of their task, the connection to the highway robberies driving their mission forward. The search for Tikhanovsky intensifies. The air thick with the scent of pine and tension as Zamuruev's team combs the forest near Lake Biserovo. The murmur of their boots crunching leaves, the air humming with the scent of paper as they document their findings. The scent of decay leading to a 5th body, Tikhanovsky, Glensky's co-driver. The air tense with the murmur of discovery, a cleaner receipt for kitchen appliances found in his pocket. The scent of evidence heavy as it confirms their cargo, the air humming with the realization that the killers stole the truck and goods. The murmur of a larger operation echoing through the trees, the air heavy with the need for justice. The forest linking each victim to the gang's methodical spree, the scent of paper a grim record of their loss. The decoy truck plan. Zamuruev devises a desperate plan. The air thick with the scent of paper and resolve as he briefs his team. The murmur of their voices tense, the scent of diesel lingering as they prepare a decoy truck. The air humming with the murmur of strategy, cameras and radios installed. Operatives posing as drivers, the scent of danger heavy as they target Gorkovskoe Highway. The air tense with the murmur of a trap set near Lake Biserovo. The scent of paper and their reports a reminder of the stakes. The air heavy with the hope of catching the killers, the murmur of the forest's deadly history a grim backdrop to their mission. The connection to the highway murders now their only lead. Will the decoy truck lure the killers? Or lead to more tragedy? Chapter 4: The Bait and the Chase, on Gorkhovskoe Highway. A decoy truck hunts killers, but will it catch the gang or spark more death? The icy air of late spring 1993 bites at Gorkhovskoe Highway, where the scent of diesel, pine, and the faint tone of tension fills the forest near Lake Biserovo. The murmur of a decoy truck's engine rumbling as it navigates the snowy roads. The air humming with the anticipation of a trap. Inside, operatives in faded jackets pose as drivers. Cleaner cameras and radios hidden, the scent of paper heavy as they log every move. The murmur of their coded communications echoing through the cabin. Behind them, unmarked cars follow discreetly, the air tense with the scent of danger as Zamuruev coordinates from Moscow. The murmur of a fifth body, Sergey Zamuruev, found by skiers with a cleaner hammer nearby, spurring urgency. The air heavy with the scent of paper as reports confirm the gang's brutality. The forest a graveyard for drivers, each death tied to the same highway robbery scheme. Will the decoy truck catch the gang or spark more death? The scent of paper and peril fills the air. Balashikha, a deadly stage for a tale of pursuit and violence. The decoy truck's journey begins. The air thick with the scent of diesel and tension as it veers off the highway onto forest roads. The murmur of its engine allure, the air humming with the scent of paper as operatives stage a breakdown near Lake Biserovo. The scent of pine heavy as they wait, the murmur of their radios crackling with updates. The air tense with the scent of danger as they scan the woods. The murmur of past killings haunting their mission, the air heavy with the hope of a breakthrough. The scent of paper in their logs a reminder of the stakes. The forest a silent witness to their gamble, the highway's history of violence driving their resolve. The first encounter on the third day. The air grows electric with the scent of tension and snow as the Zhiguli pulls up. The murmur of its engine breaking the silence, the air humming with the scent of opportunity as two men emerge. Their faces hardened, the scent of vodka lingering as they offer help. The murmur of their voices casual but edged with intent, the air tense as the operative playing the driver accepts. Entering their car to warm up, the scent of paper heavy as cameras capture the moment. The air humming with the murmur of a sudden move, one man climbs into the truck. The operatives pouncing, the scent of adrenaline sharp as they cuff him. The air tense with the murmur of the driver escaping, pushing the operative out and speeding off. The chase beginning, the highway's deadly legacy fueling their pursuit, the chase and false leads. The chase erupts, the air thick with the scent of snow and diesel as the Zhiguli races down Gorkhovskoe Highway. The murmur of its engine roaring, the air humming with the scent of paper as operatives radio nearby gate posts. The scent of urgency heavy as they pursue, the air tense with the murmur of a half-hour chase. The scent of paper lingering as the car is stopped, the driver, a former paratrooper, arrested. The air heavy with the murmur of disappointment as he and his friend, celebrating demobilization, or cleared, the scent of a false lead bitter. The air tense with the realization that the real killers remain at large. The murmur of the forest's deadly history a grim reminder of their task. The highway's connection to the murders still their only hope. Will the real killers take the bait? Or evade justice once more? Chapter 5: The Gang Unmasked, in Balashikha's deadly forests. A ruthless gang is exposed, But will the roads ever be safe again? The frosty air of mid-1993 blankets the forests near Balashikha, where the scent of pine, diesel fumes, and the faint tone of fear lingers near Lake Biserovo. The murmur of Zamuruev's decoy truck rumbling through the forest roads. Its cleaner cameras rolling as operatives in faded jackets pose as drivers. The air humming with the scent of paper as they log their final attempts to lure the killers. The murmur of radios crackling with updates. The air grows tense with the scent of urgency as Zamuruev shifts tactics, targeting busy sections of Gorkovskoe Highway after weeks of false leads. The murmur of a breakthrough emerging from a roadside cafe in Bizmenkovo, where witnesses identified Lenski with suspicious men, the scent of danger sharp as the forest yields more grim secrets. On the 38th kilometer, a stolen Zhiguli is stopped, the air thick with the scent of paper as the driver, a courier, reveals the gang's hideout. The murmur of arrests imminent after 13 murders. Will the roads ever be safe again? Or will Balashikha's curse endure? The scent of paper and peril fills the air. The forest a haunting stage for a tale of unmasking and dread. The cafe lead pays off. The cafe lead in Bezmenkovo proves pivotal. The air thick with the scent of coffee and tension as operatives revisit the roadside haunt. The murmur of their questions urgent, the scent of paper heavy as witnesses confirm Lenski's presence with two men, hardened faces, often seen in the area, the air humming with the murmur of a gang operating nearby. The scent of danger lingering as descriptions match other sightings, the air tense with the realization that these men are the killers. The murmur of their routine haunting the highways, the scent of paper and Zamuruev's reports a roadmap to their lair. The air heavy with the hope of ending the nightmare, the forest's grim history tying each victim to the gang's spree. The gang's takedown, the takedown unfolds over weeks. The air thick with the scent of snow and resolve as operatives stop the stolen Zhiguli. The murmur of its engine a clue, the air humming with the scent of paper as the driver names Andrey Sokhin, Roman Shagov, and others, Sofin, Pantin, Rikev, Eskev, Morozov, Ishanov, the scent of justice sharp as arrests begin. The air tense with the murmur of confessions, the scent of paper heavy as they admit to 13 murders. The air humming with the discovery of a hideout at Mikhail Kerfev's dacha near Lake Biserovo. The murmur of stolen goods, Lenski's kitchen appliances among them, found in his garage. The air heavy with the scent of paper as evidence mounts. The murmur of a brutal operation unmasked, the forest a silent witness to their crimes. The highway's deadly legacy finally confronted, the gang's brutal methods. The gang's brutal methods come to light, the air thick with the scent of pine and horror as confessions detail their savagery. The murmur of their tactics telling, Sokhin, an ex-convict, masterminded the operation from Matroskaya Tishina prison. The air humming with the scent of paper as he recruited thugs like Shagov, a slaughterer who killed with champagne bottles, hammers, and tire irons. The air tense without showing blood, the scent of motor oil on victims' clothes a grim marker. The murmur of 30 blows to Lenski's skull a testament to their cruelty. The air heavy with the scent of paper as they forced victims to unload cargo before death. The murmur of Kerfev's growl, storing goods, providing wire to bind victims, revealing a cold efficiency. The forest a graveyard for their prey, each murder tied to the highway's lawlessness. A lasting legacy of fear, a lasting legacy of fear haunts Balashikha. The air thick with the scent of pine and dread as new bodies emerge in 1994. The murmur of ongoing killings chilling, the air heavy with the scent of paper as reports document Sokhin's gang, 3 sentenced to death. Others to prison, the murmur of their brutal methods etched in memory. The air tense with the scent of paper and Zamuruev's logs. The murmur of Kerfav's roll and the forest's criminal graveyard legacy enduring. The air heavy with the realization that Russia's roads remain deadly. The scent of paper a faint hope, the murmur of new threats a grim reminder. Has justice truly prevailed, or will the forest's curse continue?
Don't scroll past. Hit like and subscribe if you're ready for the next twisted story.